Welcome back, everyone. My name is Patrick. You're watching a live version of the Oilers Rundown. We have a trade to announce. The Edmonton Oilers have acquired Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick from the Anaheim Ducks. So we're still working on the return. As of right now, it's believed it's a first-round pick and a conditional fifth-round pick, with the fifth-round pick could improve to a fourth-round pick given how well the Oilers do this year. And if they win the Stanley Cup, that becomes a fourth-round pick. So let me bring up the chat here so we can go over that with you guys. Obviously, a few other deals going down right now as well. Sean Walker has gone to the Colorado Avalanche, so he's off the board. It's believed, I think, right now that Jake Guentzel is going to end up with the Anaheim Ducks, so we'll see what happens with that. Or, sorry, not the Anaheim Ducks, sorry, the Carolina Hurricanes. Got the Anaheim Ducks on the mind. Give me one more sec here, guys. There we go. Yeah, the blank project coming in. He was the Ducks' best PKer. Oilers get a 3C depth piece who can penalty kill. Definitely what you want to see there for the Edmonton Oilers. I love these acquisitions. I mean, it's not Jake Guentzel. It's not Pavel Buchnevich. And with the Oilers giving up their first-round pick in this deal, that was their big piece to give up. So it's probably not going to be any more big deals for the Edmonton Oilers. We're probably looking at a depth defenseman at this point as their only other probable acquisition, but we'll continue to monitor this. Bring up the stats here for Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. Adam Henrique, in 60 games played this year, has 18 goals and 24 assists for 42 points. He's a +3. Slots in at Edmonton Oilers' third-line center, or they could try him in the top six as well. Probably will try him in that top six and see if it kind of works there, but it also gives them the option of possibly moving Ryan McLeod up into that top six and have Henrique as the third-line center, Sam Carrick as the fourth-line center. The big key with Sam Carrick is he is a right-hand shot. That's what they wanted, a right-hand shot center that could kill penalties. In 61 games played this year for Sam Carrick, he has 8 goals, 3 assists, 11 points. He's a -11, so not quite as exciting of an acquisition there for the Edmonton Oilers, but someone who can slot in on the fourth line and definitely make a difference. Gabe coming in the chat really wanted Yakov Trenin, but I'm warming up to Carrick. Yeah, I don't think Trenin is available from the Predators. The only player that we believe the Oilers could be interested in from the Predators that is potentially available is right shot D Alexander Carrier. I would love it if the Oilers could bring him in. I think he'd be the perfect add there to the top four, but we'll see what happens there. Epic Hunter saying, I feel we got fleeced for a first for a third-line center. A potential fourth-liner is rough. Well, basically a first-rounder had to go in this deal to make it work for Anaheim. You're giving up 2 players. Henrique, yeah, it's not as exciting of an acquisition, as I said, like a Jake Guentzel or a Pavel Buchnevich, but I think he is someone who can step in and help. He is most likely a rental. Sam Carrick, I think, has the potential to possibly re-sign with the Edmonton Oilers if they were interested in that. So Adam Henrique has a cap hit of $5.825 million and Carrick a cap hit of $850,000. They're both pending UFAs, but I believe I saw here that the Ducks are retaining 50% in the deal, so you're definitely going to pay for that kind of retention as well. Let me just confirm that here. Sorry, guys, things are just breaking here, and we'll see how it goes. Kurt Levin saying Henrique, Carrick, and a 7th to Edmonton from Anaheim for a first and a conditional 5th. He says this is a very smart deal by Ken Holland. Strength down the middle wins. Henrique could be a 3C or a 2-wing, like I was mentioning. Strong 2-way, reliable guy. Carrick has grit. Feels there is still, Levins feels there's still one more shoe to drop, and I think that shoe to drop is going to be on defense. Ken Holland mentioning last night that 2 forwards and a defenseman was most likely for the team, so they got the 2 forwards in Henrique and Carrick in this deal, so I think they're probably done up front. I mean, if they can find a cheaper deal with some more retention before Friday at 1 p.m., great, but with adding Henrique, adding Carrick, I'm guessing that's probably going to be it for the Oilers. Trevor coming in the chat, Holland should have gone after Tarasenko. Tarasenko did go for a cheaper deal, but Tarasenko did want to go to Florida, so Ottawa was a bit tied up with that deal. They couldn't quite probably get as good of a deal as they wanted to, so that's why Tarasenko went for cheaper to the Florida Panthers. Peter asking, aren't I supposed to be at work? Well, Peter, I took Wednesday, Thursday, Friday off, so that's why I'm reporting from home, so I could have the opportunity to do these kind of videos. Davin in the chat, I wonder who they're going to trade out of the lineup to make the cap space. Well, right now they haven't traded anybody out of the lineup, but that reminds me, it's 12:07. Did we have news on Sam Gagner? I'm not seeing any update on the waiver wire just yet. Obviously, you guys know I'm a huge Sam Gagner fan, so we're really hoping he was not claimed. Oh, here's an update from Chris Johnston. Sam Gagner clears waivers. All right. I was going to be potentially very sad and disappointed today, but Sam Gagner has cleared waivers, so we can thankfully put that one aside. Roger, hi Pat, welcome in Roger, great to see ya. Epiphany, Tarasenko took a look at current weather in Edmonton and said Florida. Well, it is supposed to warm up in Edmonton, but obviously not to the extent that we would like, or someone going to Florida instead would like. So, yeah, that could have been a potential factor as well, Robert. But, yeah, I think the biggest factor there was obviously the Florida Panthers, a Stanley Cup contender, and Tarasenko's family is currently located in Florida. So, 2 huge factors going the Panthers' way in that one. So, yeah, guys, so far, Vladimir Tarasenko to the Florida Panthers, Sean Walker going to the Colorado Avalanche, so he's off the board. And last I heard, Jake Gensel and the Carolina Hurricanes were likely. Not hearing anything new so far for the Vancouver Canucks and Vegas Golden Knights. Just looking for more information on the deal here. If anyone has an official breakdown on this one. Casey Middlestad also moving from the Buffalo Sabres to the Colorado Avalanche for Bowen Byram. So that's a big deal there. The Colorado Avalanche getting a big one. Everyone was kind of wondering what the Avs' big move was going to be. So that's kind of what their big move is getting Casey Middlestad from the Colorado Avalanche, or from the Buffalo Sabres, for Bowen Byram. So, yeah, a few more tweets here. Sam Gagner clearing waivers. Awesome, awesome news to hear. Glad the Oilers did not lose him. Let's go over a few more from the chat here. Peter saying lots of Russians live in Florida. Yeah, it's a hot spot for them. Garrett saying he wants Matt Dumba. It's a possibility at this point. We'll see what happens. I know Matt Dumba was also connected to Toronto. And with Toronto losing out on Sean Walker as well, I wonder if that one heats that up for them. Epic Hunter saying, hopefully they potentially get a defenseman. CC has been struggling and he can't play top 4 minutes right now. I think Cody CC is like the perfect bottom pairing defenseman. In the top 4, he's a bit out of his range. So if they could move Cody CC somehow to the bottom pairing and keep him, that'd be great. But any upgrade to the defense will probably require either Cody Ceci or Brett Kulak to go out the door to make the money work. Darcy, yeah, mentioning that as well. They'll have to move players out to make the money work. Dylan saying, I'm pretty happy with this deal. Henrique will fit in nicely. Very nicely on the third line. Carrick will help add some physicality on the fourth line. I agree, Dylan. Epiphany saying at Garrett for what? A pylon the guys can skate around. So, few differing opinions there. Sorry. Oilers sending out a tweet. Thought it might be an update on the trade, but it is not. So we haven't got the official tweet from the Edmonton Oilers on this trade just yet, but I imagine that's coming soon. Yeah, I haven't seen anything official on the retention. We know there's going to be retention on Anaheim's side, and they have a third team involved in this deal offering retention as well. Just looking for an update here on that retention. Obviously, Twitter going absolutely mad right now with all the deals. Very exciting. Carmen mentioning on Twitter, the implosion of Oilers Twitter is amazing. So, yeah, a lot of differing opinions right now. Some people really happy with Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick, and other people not too happy. I'm pretty happy with this deal. Obviously, like I said a few times, I'd be more excited if it was a Jake Gensel or a Pavel Buchnevich, but it looks like both those names are off the table as of now. Let's go back to the chat here. Connor asking, kind of excited to see them play. Absolutely. I'm hoping they're both in the lineup. Peter asking, when's the next game? The Oilers play on Thursday against the Columbus Blue Jackets. I believe it's a 5 p.m. Mountain start, 5:30, something like that. It's an earlier game anyway. But tomorrow is the next game. Darcy saying Fogle, Ryan, and Brown are going to be moved. I don't know if they're going to need to do all those moves because they can bury Ryan or Brown if they had to as well. Possibly Fogle. I guess it depends how big of a move they want to make on defense, but I don't know if necessarily Darcy, all three of those guys have to be moved. Possibly one. Epiphany saying, I know it may be odd, but I'm happy they actually made a deal. For a bit there I was worried the future had passed Uncle Kenny by. I was pretty certain they were going to make some kind of deal today, especially with putting Sam Gagner on waivers yesterday. You knew something had to be cooking, and apparently it was this trade that was cooking. Brown needs to go. Well, if Brown hasn't gone by this point, he's probably not going at all. As you guys know from yesterday's video, I think Connor Brown should have been the one on waivers, not Sam Gagner. But hey, he kills penalties, so. Peter asking if Toff is going to the Thursday game. He hasn't mentioned anything to me, but I could check in with him. But as far as I know, he's not going. CC needs to be traded. He may still be traded. We'll see what happens here. Glory to Ukraine. Let's go Oilers. Absolutely. Dumba for the Wumba. Well, we might be getting Matt Dumba. We'll see. Haven't seen anything connecting him to the Edmonton Oilers over the past few days, but we know the Oilers do want to make at least one more deal on defense. So let's see what happens. Sean Walker off the board. He was the Oilers' number one target. I think he would have required a first-round pick. So with the Oilers' first-round pick no longer being in play, I think big targets are kind of out the door at this point for the Oilers. Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick are the big new players coming in right now for the Edmonton Oilers. Dead League saying this is a great addition. Absolutely. SR saying bring in Prov, baby. Well, yeah, possibly. We'll see. I think I heard some rumors that Provorov might be on the move, but haven't seen anything connecting him to the Oilers, but doesn't mean it won't happen. Richard saying, I was sad to see Mantha and the Tarasenko show get away. I'm wondering what Kenny's big move is going to be. Well, Richard, I think this is the big move. Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. Possibly a big move on defense, but for right now, the big first-round pick is out the door, so the Oilers don't have a lot left to work with there. Let's see here. Pretty much caught up on the chat there. See if we get any more updates. Like I said, I don't know if you guys have seen anything on the official retention here. I've been waiting to see. Like I said, we know Anaheim's retaining. I believe I saw 50%, but I can't find that tweet anymore. And then there's also a third team retaining to make this money work for the Edmonton Oilers on this deal. Because we know, I think they had about, I think it was around $3 million to play with when they had a 21-man roster. So this deal, I'm sure, will take whatever cap space they had. So any future deals will likely require a body to go out the door to make the money work. All right. Still not seeing anything on retention just yet. If you guys are just joining, I might as well do another breakdown of the deal here. So Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick coming to the Edmonton Oilers from the Anaheim Ducks. Henrique potentially a new third-line center or second-line left wing. And Sam Carrick will likely come in as the new fourth-line center. Right shot, kills penalties. Should be a great addition here for the Edmonton Oilers. Give them some more options. I thought the bottom six needed a bit of a revamp. This trade gives the third and fourth lines that revamp. Epiphany saying first round pick, conditional fifth round pick. Yeah, we know that part. And retains 50% of Henrique's contract. So, okay, that will make the money work a bit more there. So, thank you for that, Epiphany. So, yeah, to look at the contracts here once again, Adam Henrique is $5.825 million, so the Ducks keeping 50% of that. And then Sam Carrick is a more manageable $850,000, so the Oilers likely didn't need any retention on Sam Carrick. Adam Henrique likely the only real issue there. And once again, both Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick are UFAs at the end of the year. Henrique probably not a re-signing for the Edmonton Oilers unless he's an amazing fit and they can somehow make the money work. He could take a bit of Warren Foegele's money possibly if the Oilers don't re-sign Foegele at the end of the year, or if Warren Foegele is even still an Edmonton Oiler after Friday. And Sam Carrick, I think if the Oilers like the fit with Carrick, he should not be an issue to re-sign. I wouldn't think, probably something in the million, maybe $2 million range at most, but probably one something to retain Sam Carrick after this season. But let's see how the fit goes. Maybe it's not a fit at all and the Oilers don't even want to keep either guy after the season. So Richard saying if Soup can get off our cap, it would be amazing. I liked him as a person and really wanted him to recover as an Oiler, but it just ain't going to happen. Yeah, I don't see Soup. I mean, he might draw in for some playoff games. We're not going to see him, obviously, until the playoffs. I haven't seen anything about the Oilers being able to get rid of Jack Campbell. I don't think that's going to happen until the summer, but we might be surprised. We'll see what happens. Magic, sup guys? Welcome in, Magic. Sandro, is it really worth it for Henrique? I guess we'll find out. I'm excited for this deal. I don't want to say I'm not excited, but like I've mentioned a few times, Jake Gensel, Pavel Buchnevich were the big guys for me, but Henrique could come in and be a pleasant surprise. I think he's a solid third-line center, potentially a second-line left winger for the Edmonton Oilers in the top six. But who knows? Like maybe the Oilers can get a guy like Anthony Duclair from the San Jose Sharks for some retention, and he'd be a guy that you could throw into that top six, and then maybe the Oilers do potentially add another forward here and another element. But I have a feeling they're probably done with Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick, but lots of time to go here before the deadline, so let's see what happens. Magic Meatbake saying the problem with re-signing Henrique is the bro contract. And its bonus will be added to next season, or the Brown contract. Sorry, not the bro contract. Yeah, Connor Brown's contract is going to cause some problems this summer for sure. Darcy saying Ryan and Foegele have to go to make money work. Foegele possibly. Ryan's only $900K, so he doesn't really save you a lot of money, and you can just assign him to Bakersfield. You don't necessarily have to trade him if you really needed the space. So I don't think Ryan's a must-trade, Darcy, but Warren Foegele likely if the Oilers are bringing in anybody of name and contract value, of course. Robert mentioning Henrique plays PK and he's better than McLeod as third-line center. I think he's definitely an upgrade on Ryan McLeod at third-line center. So this does give the Oilers the option to put McLeod in the top six, so another benefit from this trade. Kako mentioning Henrique used to be great, no doubt. He's not the player he used to be. A first-rounder for this is just awful. Well, I don't think you're paying the first-rounder just for Henrique. It's part of you have to pay for retention as well and all that goes with it. So don't think of it as just simply a first-round pick for Adam Henrique. There's other things you have to consider with the trade, but it is a high price. Not going to deny that. Yeah, Magic Mean Bike typo. Yeah, don't worry about it. Canadian locals, let's go. Absolutely. Mad Rock saying Cece's got to go. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll have to see how big of a name they want to bring in on defense. Sean Walker off the board. He was the big guy the Oilers were going after. So if Walker's gone, maybe they don't have to. We'll see. Dallin saying Ryan is retiring after this season. I don't know if he will. He's just got 1 year left after this. So he'd probably just keep going to make the $900K because I think he makes it whether he's here or in Bakersfield. So I doubt he'd retire after this year, but after next year, Derek Ryan is likely done. Todd saying we need to get rid of Brown. Probably, but I don't think we're going to at this point. They really seem to like him. Leaf saying it was a weak trade. Not the exciting trade I think many of us were looking for, but I think Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick is a solid trade for the Oilers. Gives them some third, fourth line, possibly second line depth with Adam Henrique. Henrique, Draisaitl, and McLeod could be a possibility there for sure. Yeah, I think I saw somebody post possibly Adam Henrique, Corey Perry, and Evander Kane together as a line. And I think you'd be looking at keeping Fogle and then McLeod with Leon Draisaitl on the second line. So that could be something we see there, but we'll see what things look like in practice tomorrow, provided Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick are both with the Oilers tomorrow before they take on the Columbus Blue Jackets. Ty mentioning Henrique can play top six. Absolutely. Ty's a Ducks fan. Well, great perspective to have here from Ty. Thank you very much. What are the face-off percentages for Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick? Let's see if we got that here. So this year for Adam Henrique, he is 52.9% on the face-off dot, so that's a solid face-off percentage. And Sam Carrick is 51%. So you're getting two centers with over a 50% percentage on the face-off dot, so that's pretty solid. Todd saying yes, 50% retained. Yeah, Ty, they would only have Henrique as a winger in the top six for sure. I mean, you got Draisaitl, McDavid, Nugent Hopkins up there, so I'd only see Adam Henrique going in there as a winger in the top six. Darcy saying, don't understand why Ryan or Brown weren't throwing in the deal. I think they value both guys. Darcy, I don't think either guy is going to be gone before March 8th. But we'll see what happens. Ty, I would put him on the wing. I think he is going to get a chance to play in the top six, Ty, so that's probably a solid, well, Justine saying solid pickup, but yeah, solid bet there for sure. Connor saying I'm going to an Oilers game March 30th versus the Ducks. Well, that should be a good one. Justine saying, Connor, a little lucky you. Absolutely. Excited for them to play there. Yep, absolutely. So, all right, let's flip back over here to Twitter and see if we have any new updates, as everything was coming fast and furious there for a while. Bob Stauffer mentioned a while ago the Edmonton Oilers can do this deal without moving out a roster player. We'll likely need third-party retention, which we believe is happening, and they will have some cap flexibility to do something else. So the Oilers are not done. We know that for sure. Whether anything else is happening today, we don't know. The Oilers do have until 1 p.m. on Friday to get a deal done. See anything else going on here? Luke Gazdick mentioning this is a great trade for the Oil, great veteran and teammate in Henrique, and Edmonton fans, you are going to love Sam Carrick. All heart, tough, team-first guy, big afternoon in Oil Country. So Luke Gazdick, very excited about this trade for the Oilers. So, yeah, Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, two very solid pickups for this team. Go back to the chat here. Shiraz asking, is there retention from Anaheim? Yes, there is. They are apparently keeping 50%, and we believe there's also a third team keeping a percentage as well. So the Oilers potentially getting both Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick for much cheaper than their cap hits. As I mentioned, Sam Carrick only an $850,000 cap hit, so I don't know if there's any retention on that. But Adam Henrique is a $5.825 million contract, so the Oilers definitely needing some retention to make that contract work. Robert, where was it here? Nathan just got here. What are your thoughts? Just finished watching the vid. He seems to like it, but most Oilers fans don't like it. I like this trade, Nathan. I'm happy with it. Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick, two very solid bottom 9 pickups for this team. Henrique has some flexibility, can go second line left wing, third line center, gives the Oilers options, and Sam Carrick a solid fourth line center for this team. As we mentioned a bit earlier, both guys over 50% on the face-off dot. Sam Carrick is another penalty killer for the Oilers, possibly a guy they can re-sign if they really like him. He's only an $850K cap hit, so it shouldn't be a huge bump for him going forward. But Adam Henrique, likely just a rental for the Oilers, but we'll see what the rest of the season, playoffs, and summer holds. Justine saying there's a lot of people on waivers. Didn't get too much of a look at the waiver wire here. Was obviously just super concerned of whether or not Sam Gagner cleared waivers. And Sam Gagner, if you have not heard, did clear waivers. So he remains, thankfully, with the Edmonton Oilers. Let's go to the notifications here. Chris Johnston mentioning the Sabres intend to keep Bowen Byram. I don't know why they wouldn't. They seem as an important piece on the blue line that already includes Rasmus Dahlin, Owen Power, and Matthias Samuelsson. Yeah, the Sabres with a stacked blue line now, especially with the addition of Bowen Byram. The Avs sent their 2025 first-round pick to Philadelphia for Sean Walker, along with Ryan Johansson. NHL players on waivers today. Here we go. Ryan Johansson with Philadelphia, Will Lockwood with Florida, Jacob Moverer, I'm not sure how to say his name there, with the LA Kings, and Jarrett Anderson Dolan also with the LA Kings. So yeah, quite a few players on waivers there. The hockey guy liking the deal, Nathan. Yeah, I think it's a good deal for the Edmonton Oilers here. I know a lot of people don't like giving up the first round pick for Adam Henrique, but as I've mentioned, you really can't think of it as just giving it up for Henrique. There's retention here. You got to pay for it, and I had a feeling if this Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick deal went down, that it was going to be a first round pick, and sure enough, it is. Hamilton saying, wonder what lines will be now. Also, we have no draft picks. I'll wait till these guys leave and we have nobody. Well, like I said, we could potentially keep Sam Carrick. I don't think he's going to be a huge player to re-sign cost-wise, so we'll see what happens. For the lines, I think they're going to try and put Connor, Nuge, and Hyman back together, I would think, on the top line. Probably try at least Henrique with Draisaitl and Kane. But I also saw, I can't remember who posted it. I want to give them credit, but I can't remember where I saw it now. A possible third line of Adam Henrique centering Corey Perry and Evander Kane, and then moving Ryan McLeod and Warren Foegele, if he still remains an Edmonton Oiler, up on the second line. So that could be that top 3 lines for the Edmonton Oilers there, a few possibilities. And then Sam Carrick would obviously be your fourth line center, probably with Derek Ryan and Matthias Janmark. And then Sam Gagner kind of remains the odd guy out. I think that covers everybody, but we'll see what happens. Can you see the Oilers bringing in Tyler Toffoli? Probably not now that they've given up their first-round pick, because I don't know what else they would give up to New Jersey to get Toffoli, so they're probably out on Toffoli now, but would have loved to get him. Justine mentioning Toffoli is reasonable. Absolutely, he would have been an amazing addition to the Oilers' top 6, but like I said, with the first-round pick gone now, unless they go into using next year's first-round pick, I think Toffoli's probably off the table for the Oilers. Lone Wolf saying, finally a deal. Broberg and Brown should go. Fogle is an asset. Ken Holland mentioning yesterday that he doesn't see Philip Broberg and Dylan Holloway going before the trade deadline, so Broberg is likely staying, and I don't think Brown is going anywhere either. Fogle, kind of hit or miss right now. The Oilers did add Henrique and Sam Carrick without having to give up Fogle, so Fogle could potentially stay. We know the Oilers were trying to not subtract too much from their forward ranks, so very good chance, depending on who the Oilers try and get on defense, that Warren Fogle remains with the team, at least for the playoffs. Where was it here? Epiphany wonder if it was Montreal that retained. Not sure if Ottawa has room. Yeah, there's a few different teams. I know Carolina had cap space. Ottawa does. Oh, there was a team I was talking about the other day, too, as well, that had quite a bit of cap space. New Jersey has a lot of cap space as well with Dougie Hamilton on long-term injured reserve. So few different teams possible that could be retaining there on this deal. Justine mentioning we still have Broberg and that forward in the NHL, probably talking about Xavier Bourgault. Yeah, so those guys could be moved. You're right. Possibly one of those guys for Tyler Toffoli. That's definitely a possibility as well. Wasn't thinking about that. Epiphany saying no, Holloway can stay on the fourth line, third line with Fogle and Perry. Another possibility. A few people mentioning I forgot Dylan Holloway there. The Oilers may put Dylan Holloway back in Bakersfield till the playoffs. Holloway can be sent down. He's waivers exempt. So, I don't know. We'll see. But also Holloway could factor in there. Yes, I did forget about him. What number are we giving Henrique? No idea. I can't even remember what number he is right now. I think I got some pictures of him here. He's 14, so we'll see. But yeah, I haven't heard anything on Henrique's number just yet. Ghosty, yeah, just seen the news. Let's go. Yeah, it's an exciting day. Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick joining the Edmonton Oilers today. Just draft picks going out the door. Peter saying Henrique will wear number 99. I can guarantee that will not happen. Ghosty saying Holland making some good deals. Absolutely. We're going to be a hard team to play in the playoffs. Well, the biggest thing this deal does, it gives the Oilers depth. When they're playing teams like Vegas and Vancouver, they have to have that depth on the third and fourth line. That's why I think it's more likely we see Adam Henrique on the third line, although the Oilers, I'm sure, will at least audition him here before the end of the season in the top six. But he may even start there if he's playing against Columbus tomorrow. But the biggest thing, a third and a fourth line center added to this team before the playoffs, gives them options. Two great adds for the Edmonton Oilers, in my opinion, here. Richard saying Jersey needs a goalie. Maybe they're desperate enough to take Soup. I doubt it. Yeah, I think they're going Jacob Markstrom, maybe John Gibson, but it doesn't sound like those deals are happening until the summer. So I can't see them taking Jack Campbell. Be nice for us, but I don't see the Devils doing it. Dallin saying, not sure how it went down. I'm guessing the deal with Philly for Walker and Sealer clearly didn't work out as they intended and thought their next best option was to get forwards from Cali. Yeah, it could be. Nick Sealer looks like he's staying with the Philadelphia Flyers. They were talking extension with him this morning. And Sean Walker has gone to the Colorado Avalanche. Dallin mentioning, what about Hanifin or Chychrun? Oilers won't be in on Hanifin. He's going to an American team. Most likely the Tampa Bay Lightning is the team that has been mentioned most for him. And for, who's the other guy mentioned? Jacob Chychrun. I don't think he's the kind of defenseman they're looking for right now. They're looking for a defensive defenseman, and Chychrun is obviously a bit more of an offensive guy. So I don't see Chychrun coming in, but who knows? We could be surprised. Cal mentioning again what number is Henrique getting. Don't know for sure yet. I'm sure the Oilers will have some kind of announcement on that later today. They usually put out a graphic with the player's jersey number, so I'm sure we'll get that later today from the Oilers. Justine mentioning Richard, no, we need him for third string. Yeah, it'd be good for the Oilers to have Jack Campbell there, like as a third option. I think Skinner and Pickard are going to be the go-to guys for sure, but Campbell and Rodrigue will be nice to have as options there for the Oilers for the playoffs. Ghosty mentioning time for Nuge to play third-line center. I don't see that happening. I think Nuge is going to stay either on McDavid's wing or Draisaitl's wing. I think they like him better on the wing, but it is an option. Not saying it can't happen, but in my opinion, I think Nuge is going to remain on the wing for the Oilers in the top 6. And Justine mentioning Henrique is better at face-offs, though. Yeah, both Henrique and Carrick with over 50% on the face-off dot, so 2 solid pickups there for the Oilers for face-off guys for sure. Chad asking, is CC or Kulak in play for a trade/upgrade on D? Yes, I believe so. Doesn't necessarily mean that either CC or Kulak is going to go. I think the Oilers were trying to do as much as they could without subtracting, but if they bring in any kind of big name with a contract on defense, then yeah, one of CC or Kulak, possibly both, will have to go to make that happen. Just go back to Twitter here, see if we have any updates on the Oilers here. Nothing else that I am seeing at this time. Bronx saying Tampa Bay is the broker. Oh, okay. I have not seen an update on that. But we know there is a third team brokering the deal between the Oilers and Anaheim Ducks. So might as well do a deal recap here in case you're just joining me. So the Edmonton Oilers today acquiring Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick from the Anaheim Ducks. It's for the Oilers' 2024 first-round pick, a 2025 2025 fifth-round pick that becomes a fourth if the Oilers win the Stanley Cup this season. Sportsnet reporting the Ducks are retaining 50% of Henrique's contract, I believe. And Bronx coming in saying Tampa Bay is the third-team broker that is also taking some of the money in this deal. I have still not seen an official breakdown of this deal between the Oilers and Ducks from anybody. So Eric Stevens from Anaheim coming in with the first-round pick in 2024 and the 2025 fifth that can become a fourth if the Oilers win it all. So he provides that information. And Sportsnet apparently was saying, according to Robert, that the Ducks are retaining 50% on Henrique. Henrique is a $5.825 million cap hit. Sam Carrick, $850,000. So Henrique, likely the only name the Oilers needing retention on, although some retention on Carrick at $850,000 certainly wouldn't hurt either. Justine saying Tampa was the broker of the NHL. Now it's Vegas. Alex saying Kane has a -7 and very poor on defense. Can the Oilers trade him? I do not see an Evander Kane trade happening. He has been struggling a bit lately, but he's definitely the kind of guy the Oilers would want for the playoffs. So he is not going anywhere as far as I know. Bronx saying Oiler Alert had the information there. So thank you, Bronx. Okay, so from Brennan Clack here, we have the breakdown of the deal. The Ducks trade Adam Henrique, 75% retained, Sam Carrick, 50% retained, and a 2024 seventh-round pick to the Oilers for a 2024 first-round pick and a 2025 conditional fifth-round pick. The Oilers dealt a conditional 2026 fourth-round pick to the Tampa Bay Lightning to help retain 25% of Henrique. So there is your full breakdown there. I'll just repeat it one more time here. Ducks trade Adam Henrique, 75% retained, Sam Carrick, 50% retained, and a 2024 seventh-round pick to the Oilers for a 2024 first-round pick and a 2025 conditional fifth-round pick. The condition on that pick is if the Oilers win the Stanley Cup this year, that fifth-round pick becomes a fourth-round pick, and the Oilers dealt a conditional 2026 fourth-round pick to the Tampa Bay Lightning to help retain 25% of Henrique. So A lot of picks going out the deal for the Edmonton, going out the door, sorry, for the Edmonton Oilers in this deal, but two solid pickups, 75% retained on Adam Henrique, 50% retained on Sam Carrick. This gives the Oilers options to continue to do more at this trade deadline. So two huge pickups right now, and I'm sure more on the way. Let me catch up on that chat here. Oilers needs other few. Yeah, they still have a few more needs for sure. Mad Rock, Justine saying Kane has to not cry about it, though. Yeah, Kane has been a little bit childish lately, but he has someone the Oilers will need for the playoffs. Alex, what can be the perfect second line for the Oilers? Well, I think a perfect second line would have been the addition of Jake Gensel or Pavel Buchnevich, so I don't know if the Oilers have a perfect second line. If Adam Henrique's on the third line, I think it's Draisaitl, Ryan McLeod, and Warren Foegele, provided all those guys are still here after trade deadline. But, yeah, we'll see. Where was I here? Dallin saying we should bring back Andrew Cogliano from Colorado. Well, Colorado's probably going to want to hang on to him for their playoff run. David Santos, win, absolutely. Stoney saying Uncle Kenny came through and probably ain't done yet. Cheers all. Yeah, Stoney, Ken Holland is not done. I can guarantee you that. There's more coming, and yeah, I like this deal for the Oilers. Justine suggesting Nuge, Dry, and Carrick. I don't think Carrick's going to be up that high. Carrick's going to be the fourth line center, I'm thinking. That's a lot of stick lifts on one line. That is true, though. Who do I think the Oilers bring in next? I honestly have no idea. Sean Walker would have been my guess on defense, but he's off the board now to the Colorado Avalanche. I know they've been connected a bit to Joel Edmondson with the Washington Capitals. He would definitely just be a depth defenseman, though. He's not replacing anybody in the top six. I think he'd be a number 7 guy. I mean, possibly in the bottom pairing, but if they moved out Ceci or Kulak, that puts Vinny Desharnais into the top 4, which they have been doing for the past few games, but I really don't like Vinny playing that high in the lineup. So Joel Edmondson is the only other name I've heard. We've talked a bit today about Matt Dumba with the Arizona Coyotes. He's a possibility, but I have a feeling Matt Dumba ends up with the Toronto Maple Leafs, but we'll see. Maximus saying, how happy are you with this trade out of 10? I would say I am 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10, because they've made two very solid additions in Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick. I think I definitely would have been 8 or higher with Jake Gensel and Pavel Buchnevich. Well, they probably would have been like 9s or 10s, because they're obviously the ideal fits for the Edmonton Oilers here. Tyler Toffoli would have been another really big get for me, but I'd say 7.5 probably right now. I'd say out of 10 with this deal. What can be the perfect first line if Dry goes to the second line? Alex asks. Well, I think you just go back to putting Connor, Nuge, and Hyman back together. They were just magic earlier. I know that magic wore off a bit in early February. Can't remember when those guys were broken up now. But I think those guys just have great chemistry, and Nuge, Hyman, and McDavid is my ideal number 1 line right now. Hyman, McDavid, Holloway. Yeah, I mean, we haven't seen Holloway get a real solid chance in the top 6 to this point, so maybe Holloway does become a factor here. I know I was mentioning he might not even be on the roster following the trade deadline, because he is someone the Oilers can send down to Bakersfield and then just bring him back up for the playoffs. But I don't know. We'll see. We haven't really got a great chance to see what Dylan Holloway can be yet, so hopefully, if he's still with the team following the trade deadline, not that he's getting traded, but still up with the team, not in Bakersfield, we get that opportunity here before the end of the season, kind of get a better look at what Holloway can do. Caper saying they still need scoring depth, a defenseman and a goalie. Well, we know they're not getting a goaltender. Ken Holland saying they're completely out of the goaltender market. They will be getting a defenseman. We know that. And they might get another cheaper forward. I'm thinking a guy possibly like Anthony Duclair out of the San Jose Sharks for some more scoring depth. But, yeah, we'll see. Where was I here? FC asking trading CC or Kulak would be a huge mistake. Both can play on the second, even first pairing. I'd ideally like to keep both guys. Yes, I agree, FC, unless we're bringing in a massive upgrade, and I really don't know what a massive upgrade on those guys would be right now, unless there's a player that we're not hearing about that could potentially be available. I know there wasn't a lot of talk about Ekholm before last year's deadline, and he was an amazing ad there for the Oilers. Mad Rock asking, do you think our goalies can get it done in the playoffs? We'll see. Skinner struggled last year. That's why I ideally wanted to get a 1B to play behind him and have Calvin Pickard as the third guy, but that's not happening, at least to this point. So I'm hoping. Skinner and Pickard have been excellent this year. Skinner, I think, has been a lot more consistent, especially since the start of the year, than he was last year as well. So let's hope so. But I don't think any of us really know for sure at this point. But so far this year, Skinner and Pickard have been excellent. So let's just hope they can keep it going for the playoffs. Maximus asking, how would you like the lines to look now? Like I mentioned, McDavid, Nuge, Hyman, number one line. I think they're going to try Draisaitl, Kane, and Henrique, but also another option, Henrique, third-line center with Corey Perry and Evander Kane, move Ryan McLeod, Warren Foegele up with Draisaitl on the second line, and then Carrick, Derek Ryan, and Matthias Janmark is your fourth line, and I'm hoping Sam Gagner is the extra forward there, but we'll see what other additions they make. Richard asking, any more word on Jake DeBrusk coming to Edmonton? The Oilers Nation guys seem to be big on that idea. I would love to get Jake DeBrusk as well. He would be another massive addition, I think. Maybe I shouldn't say massive addition, but a great addition for sure. And it just seems like Jake DeBrusk should have always been an Edmonton Oiler. So I don't know what the odds of it are happening now. I don't think Jake DeBrusk would have ever cost you a first-round pick, but there could possibly be something brewing between Edmonton and Boston. I would love DeBrusk. I think he'd actually kind of be a player that might make sense with what the Oilers have left to be able to do right now. So we'll see what happens there. Justine saying, Kulak is worth a lot, you think, but we are stacked, so not worth anything. Well, Kulak's got value for sure, and ideally I'd like to keep Brett Kulak. He was excellent in last year's playoffs, so I'm hoping he stays. Maximus saying, P.S. Luke Gazdic was on YouTube. Great to see he's doing so well. Yeah, he's doing really well on YouTube. Big fan of Luke Gazdic. I love his podcast. Does some great interviews. Really liked his interview he did with Connor Brown back in the summer, although I know Connor Brown's not a popular name around this parts anymore. But I was very excited to get Connor Brown. Before this year, he looked really good, but maybe that injury just affected him more than we thought. But who knows? With Connor Brown, I would not be surprised at all next season if he's with Edmonton or not with Edmonton. The guy comes back and gets 15 to 20 goals. Would not be shocked at all. I mean, probably not, but he was a decent player, like a very good depth player, great penalty killer and stuff, and he's been a great penalty killer here for the Oilers as well. So I was so excited to get Connor Brown, so just really disappointed with how all that worked out this year. Alex saying, Kane is not top six player, in my opinion. He has a -7, not good in defense. Only Brown has a bigger plus-minus with a -9. Well, I think, like I mentioned a few times here, Kane, Henrique, and Perry might be a third line for the Oilers, so maybe that's where we see Evander Kane eventually end up. Maximus, Anthony Duclair would be a great ad. Yeah, I think he's someone that is a possibility still for the Edmonton Oilers at this point. Justine saying, Alex, this would keep our bottom six intact. Kinda, yeah. And do you think Pickard re-signs with the Oilers and they trade Campbell? Pickard is definitely a possibility to re-sign. I think Olivier Rodrigue, after this year, is no longer waivers exempt. So if he's not waivers exempt, I don't know if the Oilers would want to risk putting him on waivers at the end of training camp. So we could possibly see Skinner Rodrigue as the tandem next year. Calvin Pickard could still be re-signed and then just maybe they risk putting Pickard on waivers and he remains with Bakersfield. But if Rodrigue is still waivers exempt next year, that changes things. I could see Skinner Pickard being the tandem, keep Rodrigue in Bakersfield, but I'd have to check on that. So for right now, I'll say yes, Pickard's still a possibility to come back next year, especially with how well he's played this year and really popular guy in the locker room. And Maximus says, DeBrusk, yes, please, but that's a bit unrealistic. Probably, but... And Justine saying, Louis is our connection to DeBrusk. Absolutely, for sure. I think Louis DeBrusk would love to have his son playing in an Edmonton Oilers uniform. So I think I'm going to take a break here, guys. We've been going pretty heavy here for almost an hour. So just before I sign off here, though, we'll see if we have any more news for the Edmonton Oilers. Frank Saravalli doing another breakdown of the trade here. Might as well, good way to wrap up the video here. Frank Saravalli saying, trade call going down right now to the Edmonton Oilers. Adam Henrique, 75% retained. Sam Carrick, 7th round pick to the Anaheim Ducks, Edmonton's 2024 first round pick, conditional 2025 5th round pick, and to the Tampa Bay Lightning, Edmonton's 4th round pick for retaining there. So yeah, that's the deal, guys. So far, Adam Henrique, Sam Carrick to the Edmonton Oilers from the Anaheim Ducks, draft picks, retention from the Anaheim Ducks, Tampa Bay doing some retention as well to make this deal happen. So I will wrap it up there for now, guys. Bill saying thanks for your update, Patrick. Yep, thank you very much, Bill, and thank you to all of you for joining me in the chat. Might have another live video here later today, but if not, I'll probably do a wrap-up video on any other news the Edmonton Oilers do today. But we still got a couple more days here, March 1st or March 8th at 1 p.m. Got the 1 p.m. as the date in my head here. March 8th, 1 p.m. Edmonton, total NHL trade deadline, not just for the Edmonton Oilers. Let's see what else happens before then. But for now, Adam Henrique and Sam Carrick, the newest members of the Edmonton Oilers. Once again, thank you for everyone for joining me for now. You've been watching the Oilers Fanatic. Thanks for being a fan. If you enjoyed this video, please hit that subscribe button. Going for 7,000 subs right now. Would love your help in making that happen. Take care, guys. See you soon.